not your prison.
Ah, okay, well, go deeper. Are they inmates or are they soulmates? Tell me, man. Cellmates or soulmates? What are we doing?
You know, I call them angelic warriors. They're the warriors that fight side by side you to become the best version of you. They want to die for you on the battlefield. They believe in your dreams, and you know they back you every step of the way.
Wow. How do I get your book?
Look, guys, you can get it off Amazon, birthofthesuperyou.com, jacobgalea.com, but online, just Google it and it'll superly just pop up.
I mean, you and your crew came in here like the good fellas. You didn't bring any books. Where are the books?
They're coming. They're in reprint at the moment because we've sold out. So in the US doing our tour, so we're just printing some more for you guys.
So clearly it's working.
You know, it does work. It's a super pill that you take inside that makes you better. It works.
Wow. The super, say it again, super
you.
Corey Holcomb is in the building right now. Comedian, actor, the whole get down. He has a question.
I'm so burdened to ask this question. Do you think there are people who are meant to clean hotel rooms and work in the high school lunchroom? Like
they're meant to be mediocre,
right,
is what you're asking.
Their destiny.
You know, look. A cleaner, even a hotel concierge can be the best concierge on the planet, yeah? So I don't really care. You don't have to be a CEO. You don't have to be an NBA player to be a super version of you. This is what I'm saying. If you clean rooms, be the number one in the world. If you're in the hotel business, be the number one in the world. I don't care what you do, but you have to be an objective to be the number one. Because if you're the number one, like attracts like, you'll attract more number ones in your world. So just be good at what you do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I told my sister that she a crackhead. I was like, you gotta be the best crackhead out there.
You have to dominate addiction.
You gotta get her on my book and get her off that stuff, brother.
Man.
But I think that's an interesting angle from the perspective of if you dominate whatever level you're at, I think you're bound to rise. You're bound to ascend. Is that the philosophy here?
Yeah, you got to outwork your competition. You got to play the game better than anyone else. And you know, let's look at it. If you play the game better than anybody else, you have to win. But you got to do the hard work. People aren't willing to do the hard work to win. You got to stay after hours. You've got to put in the extra effort. You got to lift the extra weights. You got to shoot the extra baskets. Yeah, it's the extra bit that you put on ordinary that makes you extraordinary. If you want to play the game, you got to play the best to win, not just to be in the competition.
I see you out here. I see you working it. I see you working the angle of it. So one more time, where can they buy your book?
Amazon, guys, Birth of the Super You. Get it online. You can get an e-copy or hard copy. It's there for you to buy.
And now, are you here in America, or are you just visiting, coming through, and then you're going to go back to Australia?
Yeah, no. So we're in America on this tour, doing our American tour for 2 weeks. We're back in Australia, and then we travel globally again. We'll be back in America probably about another 6 weeks.
All right. Well, there it is, man. I really appreciate having you,
Thanks
Jacob.
for having me on the show.
And listen, come back anytime.
I would love to.
But when you come back,
I will bring you a book next week.
bring
my word.
them down.
100%.
No, because I read at least 2 or 3 books a week.
Okay.
So I need new stuff to read, new angles, new perspectives. So I'm a reader.
I'll have you a copy next week signed.
All right. Let's not play any reindeer games. Let's get it.
Done.
All right. Thank you so much. Listen, you're listening to the Voice of Reason on Dash Talk X. I'm about to take a quick break, but when I return, today's topic and special guest, Corey Holcomb in the building. It's about to go down in the town. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back in 2.2. Holla.
Voice of Reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call.
Hey, you are now tuned in to the Voice of Reason. The big humble house is your host this evening. ZoWilliams, many topics. Talk about everything, ain't nothing out of pocket. Religion and music to maximizing profit. How to tell if your relationship is toxic. If you're on the wrong path, we can stop it. Knowledge is like the prison. So whether you're saint, sinner, or heathen, get you some grown game from the Voice of Reason.
Relationship dumbassification, a thought-provoking conversation with the voice of reason, an exploration into why you and your girl just can't relate. The world is tuned in to the voice of reason, blowing up the foxhole every Thursday evening. If your man is tripping, then talk to Zoe before you leave. Maybe y'all can make it work, and if not, he can tell you exactly how to tell him to kick rocks. Intelligence with lots of comedy, it's not your average show. It's ZoWilliams, the voice of reason on Foxhole Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason has returned to Dash Talk. I got another hot topic, and the big homie is in the building, man. Hey, man, did you get my birthday wishes, homie?
Yeah. That's
Come
what's
on,
up,
man.
man.
Come
Thanks,
on,
Zoe.
man. Hey, I hope you had a great weekend, man.
Oh, yeah.
I know you did the L.A. run.
Yeah,
Normally, I'm with you on the L.A. run, man.
Yeah. It was kind of, it was different this year when I did, because, I did Phoenix, then I did L.A. Y'all normally be with me. We took that long drive last year.
Man. That long drive to Phoenix, boy.
So drive the speed limit exactly.
Well, that's not any
So
better
now-
than me.
now
I go
I'm good.
5 over exactly and set the cruise control like.
Like, the trucks, when the trucks be passing you by?
Oh well, not me. No, that's
Oh,
terrible.
it's 90 minutes. And then he was like, all right, nigga, shit, we ain't gonna get there until tomorrow. Let me pull over. No, but it was cool, man. But, hey, man, normally we on that run together, and Corey kills those spots, man. Every last one of them. The Oxnard spot, what's the name of that spot up there?
Levity Live.
Levity Live, that shit was fly. That's when that lady tried to throw water on you, and she got handled by the promoter.
The manager, he
wasn't
one of them
playing.
hillbillies that ain't got that prejudice to him.
Yeah.
He a hillbilly, though. You know what I mean? But
Right.
some hillbillies ain't, all hillbillies, they ain't all, I hate black people.
Right.
Nah,
My man Dan,
he was
do
not playing.
play.
Yeah,
I
he-
tell people he had me perform at his wedding. And I was so
Really?
intimidated. I was like, Dan, what is this? And it was like, hee-haw, that type of wedding.
What?
And he looked me in the face. He said, hey, Corey, these are my people. Trust me. Just do what you do. I
He
was like,
wasn't
"All right."
playing.
Hey, man. they was talk about them bitches.
Talk about them hoes.
Hell no.
Oh, shit. Well, that's what it is, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the building right now with Tiff Talk, a.k.a. Tiffany Ram. We got a great topic tonight, man. Listen, if you're sensitive, you don't want to be challenged, this might not be the show for you. This young lady sitting behind me is my new intern. She from the hood.
Yay.
She gangster.
A little bit.
Yeah, the dig. I got
She
her
is.
back there developing topics, and she came up with a good one.
Is this hers?
Yeah.
Hey, doing it.
That's why I did it. I was like, all right, let's see what we got. Daddyless daughters.
Yeah, buddy.
She came up with it. You don't mind if I put your little business out in the street a little bit?
Too late, anyways.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right, it's out here now.
I love it, man. They, a lot of times when people come to me with topics, it be because it's some personal shit they going through.
Right.
So I was like, all right. We'll turn this motherfucker into something. Daddyless daughters. Does the absence of a man in a girl's life affect the way they love, the choices they make, and the men they grow to attract? Shit. I got questions. And then I'm going to throw it to my crack panel, Corey Holcomb and Tiffany Ram. True or false? Your father may be a deeply flawed human being, but like all of us, he was only doing what he knew how to do in the moment. What kind of trauma must he have experienced that his concept of parenting wound up to be so flawed? A lot of times we have an idealized picture of who we think our parents should be. Not who the fuck they are, but who we think they should be in relation to us. I already know this is going to go. Is being a fatherless daughter affecting your love life? If so, how? Yikes. True or false, women who grew up without fathers often struggle with feelings of low self-esteem and unworthiness. Gosh, I just want to jump right into it. True or false, without a father figure, daddyless daughters set their own relationship boundaries. You look like you know. You what? You mad? You
no,
mad?
I'm
you
like,
mad
oh,
or no?
this is gonna be fun, but I'm trying not to be, like Peaches and just start blurting out random answers.
All right, well, here we go.
I was trying to let you get through the questions,
All right, hey, the number to dial is 323-230-4610. That's 323-230-4610. Call me right now if you got, I guess, daddyless daughter issues. Corey Holcomb.
What it do?
Your thoughts, man.
Man, you ready for this?
Hell yeah.
Most women who grow up without a father find out the hard way what being around a man is about.
Uh-oh.
And they normally make the wrong choices on the man that they wind up being around. But this is one thing I just want to put out there that people don't say that often. The number one killer of kids is women.
Here we go.
Women abort more. Abortion is the number one form of destruction of life in the community. So you are here because your mama kept you out of the ones that she conceived. And if don't nobody say that, people will always think the man do something bad. So you one of the ones she kept out of the dudes she slept with.
Damn. How do you get to be one of the ones she kept, Corey?
Most of the time it's because she done had so many, her health was at risk if she killed another one.
Oh, my God.
It's the truth. The doctor be like, look, if you keep having these baby yanks, you going to hurt yourself. So they be like, well, I'll go and keep this one then.
Baby yanks.
We ain't got to say abortion. We'll come up with something creative.
That was very creative.
Infant vacuum.
No, let's do baby
procedures.
yank instead. Damn. Infant vacuum. No.
But I'm saying, like, when you are brought into this world, unfortunately, if you brought up in poverty, and most of us are brought up in poverty, you brought up coming out of a woman who was taught that she don't need nothing. Now, I'm going to tell you something about Caucasian women. They don't think that. At least the elite ones, the ones who grow up. When I say elite, I mean with money.
Yeah.
They realize I have to have a sucker. Even if I don't love him, I need the income that keeps me at a certain level. Of this is
Devastating.
it's devastating because if you look at where we are a bitch raised as society.
Wow.
And you see how it is. There's no camaraderie really. There's a whole bunch of stuff we missing because there's that balance is not in that house. That okay, what does daddy think? Well, I see mama and daddy working things out together. You never see that. So as we grow, we're taught a lot of times you don't need a man around. And we see that that's so not true. You need to be wise and pick a solid dude and a solid partner, and that's who you build with.
But what if you don't know how to pick a partner because you're a daddyless daughter?
Well, that's one of the things we have to figure out in society. How do we get together and show the communities you've been doing it wrong? How do we put that together? Who has the power nowadays to teach everything you learned is bullshit?
Wow.
Even your education, because some people, the people who are educated, who have graduated from college or whatever, they think they are so much better. But look at their kids.
No,
Right.
they aren't better.
Their kids don't respect them either. Why is that? That alpha male ain't in the house. That motherfucker who hold it down. The motherfucker you look up to because he don't take no bullshit, but he's kind.
The kind, firm daddy.
Right.
You see the love, but don't play with him.
Don't play with him.
don't
Because
see it.
it's going to change. It's going to turn bad if you fucking around.
Right.
That motherfucker gonna love you to death, but if you fuck with him, ain't no telling what motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
So, Tiff,
Yep.
you might as well speak on it because this topic is kind of central to your experience and how you was
Yeah.
raised. And so talk to us a little bit about your relationship with your dad and, if there's one, and if there is one, is it developing? Is it strong? Is it robust? Is it struggling? What's the deal?
I don't know my biological father. I haven't even physically been in his presence since I was 3 months old. So that's definitely a factor. But I've always had a father figure in my home. So, like, my brother's dad for the first 7 years of my life, and then my current stepdad for the rest of my life. But I definitely see that there's two kinds of fatherless daughters. There's fatherless daughters who are like me, who are like, we don't know our real dad. But then there's fatherless daughters who have a dad, but they know him, and he may even be present in her life, but he's not actually present. You know what I mean? And that's why you said
The emotionalist provider.
yes.
Right.
And that's actually even more important for that daughter to be reflective and analyzing what she's observing from that absent present father, because whatever you think makes him ain't shit is going to be exactly what you need to analyze and how you are going to be with other men.
So dads create. Oh no, I heard it worded some kind of way that kind of bugged me out. Dads teach daughters how to be and have a relationship with men without sex.
Yes.
So there's no sex involved because that's my dad.
Right.
But it teaches a woman how to interface without using her physicality.
Correct.
Now, would you say that women that lack that presence, that fatherly presence, don't know that lesson and then wind up using themselves as a relationship currency? Their body, their looks, and in other words, thoughtism.
Absolutely. So for me, I definitely feel like I had an advantage to a point that I had my stepfather in my life. And although my stepfather is like the embodiment of like a man of few words,
Right.
literally, there's very few words that are spoken between me and my stepfather, but we actually have a really outstanding relationship because the words he does say, I know when he speaks, it's meaningful and it's with purpose. So I listen.
So a few words,
Yes.
but when he does say something to you, you better pay attention because
Absolutely.
it has value.
Right.
Corey-
And like you said, well, in regards to knowing how to interact with men without sex, I also have 3 older brothers. And I've had 3 older brothers that were very players in the game, all of that.
They
And
taught you the game.
They taught me the game, which was an advantage and a disadvantage to the fact that they taught me how to interface with them without sex. But they also taught me that how men and women both use sex as a currency. So it's choosing to flip on and off the switch.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Corey, what are the telltale signs of a woman that was raised by a strong man versus the telltale signs of a woman who wasn't?
Wow. Oh man, it's like people show you who they are, man. And where it comes from, you don't. In my opinion, I don't have to hear much to get it.
I know you was gonna come with it.
I know some girls who were raised around a man, but they still in a lot of chaos. And this is why. I just use the example of the jungle. See, in the jungle, the alpha male rules.
Yeah.
The lion that's really that motherfucker, and not nothing fake. He really that motherfucker. Not only does he come take the pride, but he kills the young lion males that are coming up that ain't his. Now, in society, they would say that's wrong or whatever. But when you got a whole bunch of you got a whole bunch of betas in the house, men who really don't want no trouble, they just want some pussy after work and to go to sleep, and they duck the woman and the kids. I don't want no trouble with you motherfuckers. I'm trying to get through this shit I done got myself in. I think that's the majority.
Right.
But the alpha male is a good influence for a woman, especially a girl who is, I'll put it like this. She got a strong personality. She needs to be tamed. And most of the times when they know it's a motherfucker that ain't bullshitting, they submit to that. It ain't just the fear. It's respect. It's the establishment that they see this man has created. Say what you want to say about this man, whatever, but this man has created an environment where everything is working. Even if it's the way he wanted to work, it's fair. That's what I'm saying. Bullies don't work.
Right.
People who not righteous don't work. I'm talking about the alpha male who is here for his family, the James Evans Sr. You know what I'm saying? That type of father they used to have before they caught on and said, hey, we can have TV shows where we just got weak dudes who ask the wife for permission to do certain things.
Right.
James Evans Sr. was the last alpha male brother I saw on TV. Now it's all Don Lemons.
He was.
It's all Don Lemons.
So what we look up to is guys like that. So you ask the question, I'm just saying, who's the male that these women are watching? Most of them are taught to just bow down to everything. But those who won't bow down, they are ran out of their house because, you know what I'm saying, Caucasian leadership teaches the woman, if you have a problem with him, we'll kick him out.
Get rid of this dude.
We'll lock him up for you.
He's done.
You know
He's
what I
out of
mean?
here.
But I'm just saying, sisters who grew up with a James Evans Sr. type father,
Yeah.
it seems like they're level-headed. They're level-headed. They're like, you know what? I get this. I understand this. In fact, I respect this. But if you grow up with a little weak-ass man who let the mama run you, and after a while the kids talking crazy to you, you see how the kids act. Wow. In the house with the man. So even if you got a man in the house, if he ain't got no spine, he destroys the family too.
God damn.
I mean, Corey ain't never lied.
In
He's
the
right
wild,
on.
the big animal, the baddest motherfucker, that's the one who mate with all the women.
Wow.
The weak one, he's not really, he gets the sloppy seconds.
So true.
But in society now, it's just the opposite. The little phony, fake, whatever male, that's the guy who's excelling, and that's the guy who has his house because he kisses ass and he builds a family that's weak.
Don't do it.
Damn.
That was my stepdad. Like, literally, I just didn't even ask to do things. Like, it helped because I was kind of a scary kid to begin with in the first place. Like, I just saw all my brothers fuck up so much that I just didn't really care to get in trouble. But, like, people would ask me to do stuff like go to parties or whatever, and I would just say, my parents said no. Like, I wouldn't even ask permission. I would just be like, nah. Like, because I just knew, like, my dad was going to be like, nah. My curfew was 10 p.m. till I graduated high school. The only 2 nights that my curfew wasn't 10 p.m. was prom night, which was midnight. Because my dad was like, and even if I would have argued, like, the state curfew is later than that, he would have been like, nah, nothing good happens after 10 p.m.
Wow. Do you think
And
he would have let you stay
never
out?
fucking questioned it because I was like, you right, Dad. Because I know what kids do. You doing drugs, you drinking, you fucking. I was like, okay, true that,
Do you think
Papa.
he would have let you stay out later on prom if you would have been like, hey, Dad, I'm already fucking? Like, if you... I'm just saying.
Oof.
I don't know if you was, but I'm just saying. Do you think he would have been like, well, fuck it, might as well just have some fun? No?
Nah. I mean, they
Listen, Dad, you're too late.
Well, I was engaged
Okay,
my
I've been
senior.
getting dick down since the 10th grade.
I got
Just put it
engaged.
out there already.
I got engaged my junior year. I was engaged my entire senior year. So, like, my parents knew, like, at that time, my then fiance was going into Navy. He was a year older. Like, it was to the point where, like, once or twice they let him come on a camping trip or whatever. But even then, it was like, y'all ain't sleeping in the same bed. Because to my daddy, was like, I don't care what you do when I'm not looking. Y'all could be sneaking around fucking, but you ain't going to do it with me right now until you fucking grown. So until you 18, he was like, nah, you gonna follow these rules. And I just followed those shits.
But I think that's kind of weird because let me just say this. My son turned 18. When he turned 18, you know, he had the notion in his head, like, I'm grown and I'm finna get out here and start fucking on these hoes. You know, that's just,
no.
you know. But for me, I was like, no, you're not.
Right.
I was like, you got shit to do.
Priorities,
And
responsibilities.
women can become a distraction to your ass if you don't have a clear plan.
Right.
And I said, you got something to do.
Right.
Now, he waited until he was a senior. I'm putting his business out there. Sorry. He waited. And to me, by him waiting, it kind of fucked up his focus. Because before the girl came into the play, his focus was just laser. But then the girl got involved. See, I think at a certain age, whether it's a boy or a girl,
Right.
you got to be like, you're not doing that shit.
Right. That's what
You're
I'm
not
saying.
ready for that shit.
Like, I had sex by then, but my dad was just very clear about these are my rules. This is my house. Now, mind you, after 18, you ask permission. Like, I already had older brothers, so I knew, like, after you're 18, if you're respectful and that's your, you know, significant other, they can spend the night, y'all sleep in the same bed, that's fine. But, like, my dad's like, until you actually grown, you sure the fuck ain't doing grown people shit. And mind you, I was a straight A student. I graduated being in over 36 different, like, extracurricular activities, like honor student, bloody blue, blue, blue. Like, but he still was like, basically, yeah, like, you don't need other distractions. Be home by 10 o'clock, period. Even when I had a job, he was like, you ain't gonna work after 10 o'clock. I don't care if they want you to close at Burger King or whatever. Just tell them you got to be home by 10. I did. The job made the schedule accordingly.
Corey,
Like,
your thoughts?
like,
Because, Corey, you are a father of a daughter.
yeah,
And, you know, that's a whole nother, like, being a father of a son is one thing.
man.
But the father of a daughter is a whole nother get down, whole nother set of rules.
I just feel like, you know, you raise a child. By the time they 15, 16, they're starting to mold into who they are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I get mistakes along the way. I get that because anybody can make a mistake. But I just feel like I'm smart enough to watch somebody and figure out who the fuck they are. And I knew it's just you can't say it because it's like people might call it arrogance. But I knew my daughter head was screwed on right.
Mm-hmm.
Like she got a master's. She still she rarely needs anything from me. She's like, I'm so proud that she's self-sufficient, and if something happened to me, I know she'll make it in this world. Now my son, he didn't grow up around me, but he has the issues I had, and by him not growing up around me, it's like I got to get him around me so he can figure out. Even if people say something wrong with you, that don't mean nothing. See, right now he's around. He's around a male that he grew up around this guy. That's his mom's husband, but he's not like me. It's important to grow up around your kids because your kids could think something wrong with them. But they need to be able to see where they come from so they could be like, my dad told me people used to say that shit about him. You know what I'm saying? And it is something wrong with me, but it ain't nothing that's stopping me from being productive in this world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like with the kids, I can't tell no 18-year-old about, hey, man, look, it's trouble out there in the streets.
Right.
If you ain't figured this out by now, you about to be fucked up out here. And I'm telling you, they believe you when they know you ain't bullshit.
Right.
Now, they still might make a mistake, but as they tiptoeing through the bullshit, they like, hey, man, Dad told me that this is bullshit. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you got 15, 16 years with them kids to try to show them what it is. Because when they 18, I'm telling you, man, they're starting to mold into what they're going to be.
It's over.
Absolutely.
It's over. And if you haven't set the tone or the example by then. I'd say, what's the earliest? I'd say by 7, 8.
This is the earliest. When they in grammar school and start interacting around other people,
Right.
you get a good idea of who yours is.
Right.
Yep.
Even though a lot of people be in denial. You know what I mean? No, it was them other kids. No.
Yeah.
This is the same stuff that
These
keep happening.
your people,
And
right?
you keep acting like it's not happening.
Right.
This is who he is. My
Wow.
son needs to be up under me, and I keep trying to move him out here. I believe I will eventually move him out here because he's at that age where he needs to see how I work through shit so he can understand what's wrong with him.
Mm.
Because right now he's around a guy who's not like me, where he challenges that guy and everything. And of course I tell him, look,
When you say not like you, because you broke this down earlier in the conversation about the dude that just, he gonna be quiet, he ain't gonna trip, because at the end of the day, he want that pussy.
he baby boy.
Right.
Oh no.
So, and I want you to break down the alpha male, because a lot of women don't understand this about men. Alpha males will turn down pussy in favor of integrity.
Yes, thank you.
Especially if you grew up around the tutelage of a male who taught you what it is you already thinking, because
Right.
you know right from wrong a lot of situations. Sometimes when you hear somebody else say it, especially if somebody you respect, you be like, that's what it is. I knew this was wrong, what I was doing anyway. It don't mean you always gonna do right, but I'm telling you, when you know something, it's harder to do. When you know something wrong, it's harder to do the wrong. Now, if you meet somebody who knows something wrong and they just do wrong all the time,
And just keep doing it.
something wrong with that motherfucker. How you keep robbing banks? You don't give a fuck.
You
know
don't
what
give
I'm
a
saying?
fuck.
Something wrong with you for real. You need to be incarcerated.
Right. Right.
But that's important again. Well, around like what age is it? And you know me, I'm all about like the psychology too of things. But it really is like before age 8 is when when your ability for kids to attach to your imprint to have like a parental impact. And my mom and I even talk about this in regards to my stepdad came in my life at a critical time, which is around 6, 7 years old. But it took me until I was like 16, 17 to actually acknowledge him as like, okay, I started calling him Papa. Like, you're not just Randy, you're not just my stepdad, but like you're really my dad. You know, it took a long time to establish that trust because of some stuff in my past, but that was the critical age versus, mind you, he was still in my brother's lives, but my brothers are, 6, 8, and 9 years older than me. And my mom's like, damn. And even my dad has said it. He's like, I wish I would have came earlier for them. Because, like, they have their own dad, but he is definitely not the kind of father you figure you want in your life. He's an alcoholic who's struggled with, significant problems his entire life. So,
That's the one mama chose.
Yeah, so it's just, it's just to be able to see the difference, though, like, in regards to, like, him being in my life at that age and the impact because I was able to allow him to be, like, that dad role to me versus, my brothers will always acknowledge him as, like, the other dude.
Right.
And it has a huge impact on how the dynamics of our relationships and how they see things. So, it is definitely critical. But age 8 in regards to development is really like the attachment cutoff. Like, you really want to try to catch a kid, even adopted kids. Like, if you can catch them before 8, they're going to attach more in a healthy way, significant way, than if you adopt them later.
Kids need to know that you are here because your daddy chased that pussy down.
Man,
Now,
it's so
if
real.
your daddy didn't chase that pussy down, you would not be here. You are here. He is just as important as your mama for your being here. And I just don't feel like that's taught. People act like if you got a problem, a father who's, he's got a lot of shit going on, oh, well, he's bad. Okay, he might be bad, but trust me, he got that ass. That's how you got here.
That's the point.
He got that ass. Whatever wrong with him. Because I be hearing girls talk about how they daddy ain't no good and wasn't there for him. And I just be like, well, maybe he wasn't fucking with your mama like that. Maybe your mama and your daddy never really, he probably was like, oh, this bitch got pregnant. And she kept it. And so that's why you here. But I ain't got no connection to her. And this is what really people don't have the courage to say. If I don't got a connection to the woman, I probably won't have a connection to the kid.
True.
And a lot of people won't say that.
A lot of people won't say that. I don't have a connection to that child. Maybe I can get to know him, and then that can grow into something. But
no, this is
just
very
because that's
interesting.
my child, bitch, I made some more kids.
Right.
Kids
And it might
I
not have been
know.
your choice to have the kid. That's the
Right.
issue. Like a lot of kids feel certain kind of ways and they don't realize like that father wasn't even part of like the decision-making process.
They think they're supposed to hate the dude because he ain't around. What you should do is get to know who your father is and then make your own choice. But if you judge who your dad is off what your mama talking about, you're making a major mistake.
Well, let me ask you this.
Because your dad might be the motherfucker to do something to save your life one day. Because
Wow.
if he know who you are, maybe that bit of morality inside of him might save your life.
Wow.
Sometimes you need a kidney transplant or something like that.
Now you got to go ask this nigga. You
Right,
got
this
to
is
go
the
humble
man.
yourself.
And you be like, oh, he wasn't shit my whole life. But he be the one to be like, hell yeah, I'll save your life. You be like, damn, mama said you wasn't shit. I don't even know your mama.
I talked to your mama 3 times.
I used to give your mama a couple of dollars and smash her. And one time she got pregnant and she kept you because I got good hair.
Wow.
I mean, these stories aren't said.
Man, Corey be telling me uncomfortable
I'm
truth,
light
man.
skinned. That's why your mama kept you.
Hey.
She had a
Crazy.
boyfriend. And I was cheating on, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of
Yo.
stories like that, but they don't come out.
No, that's
Damn.
my truth. Like the story has changed. Like the story has changed over the years. Like the more truth comes out, the older I get. Like it's like my mom forgot what lie she told me because it's so old now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't fault her because at the end of the day, like I know my dad didn't abandon me. I know my mom left him. So like I don't have the same abandonment issues. Like you left him, whatever the circumstance. It was pretty bad. It sounds like, but regardless, it wasn't like he didn't want me. Quite the opposite. The story was basically like they weren't exclusive to each other. My mom had me. My dad actually took me to his other girlfriend's house to show me off to her. Like, you know, my mom was like, the fuck? So, you know, but like it didn't come out till I was older that like my mom told me like, oh, we weren't even exclusive. I was like, well, then how do you even know he my daddy though? Like, the one person I think it is, like,
Y'all can get
that
tested.
could not be my daddy. Well, first I got to find him to find out if it's him. And then what if it's not him? Now I got to go through 30-year-old hoe-ishness.
Let me just come back.
So real quick, though,
No.
man, I'm telling you.
Go ahead.
When you tell people the truth,
Right.
most of the time, they start to move toward the truth.
Right.
See, the truth is not trendy.
No.
That's why people are shocked and scared of it when they hear it. But a lot of times when you tell people the truth, you mesmerize them because it's something about the truth
Right.
that people want to live in. But in the way we brought up here, telling the truth and speaking honestly, you a bad guy for that.
Right.
It's true. It's true. A lot of people see the truth as an attack.
Oh, that
How about
part.
that, Gazzo? That's real.
As an attack. Like, shit crazy. It'd be like, I'm not attacking you personally,
Right.
but a lot of people see it that way.
Right.
They see it as, oh, you trying to challenge, you trying to be right, or you trying. No. I'm just telling you the truth. This
Right.
is just what this is.
Right.
So,
Tell your woman the truth and watch what happened. She almost starts to hate you for it. Maybe later on in life she'll respect you for it. But at that moment, when you tell her who you really are, chances are you're going to lose her.
because that's not what she wants you for.
How about that?
She don't want you for your truth now.
How about that? And that's a relationship that's based on nothing.
Say it again.
You sitting up here, this is a fake ass situation. We got kids together. We done bought this house together. But really, you want me to make it all sound good. But if you really know who I am, will you stand by me? No. In most situations.
Hell no.
Really, your man more than likely is off the motherfucking chain.
So since we telling the truth,
Yeah.
nobody want to say the truth of this. Women judge fatherhood by motherhood standards.
Yes.
In America.
Yeah.
Which is completely unrealistic. It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't. Listen, at the end of the day, you a hoe in the streets.
That part.
You done threw that thing around.
That part.
And then all of a sudden, you get pregnant and become conservative and a mother. And now you want to hold this man to the American standard of what father means. When you know y'all fucking around and you done did all types of immoral shit with your body, like you said about the multiple abortions, and now all of a sudden you want to be like, well, we have to raise this kid right, and we gonna build an empire. Wait a minute, you knew what this was.
You emotional and unstable, and you raised the seed of a liar. That's what's wrong with America.
Right. That part. I mean,
Ladies
honestly,
and gentlemen, you're listening to the voice of reason on Dash Talk X. Corey Holcomb is our special guest in the building, along with Tiff Ram. The phone lines are open, and I'm just getting this Facebook feed. This is my first time broadcasting through Facebook.
How about that?
I can't even find it.
You like that?
So,
I like YouTube better.
Okay.
But Facebook is starting to come through. But damn, Corey, did you have to slap them upside their dome piece like that?
So
You're
many women
raising
are
the seed of a liar.
You're already emotional. You're unstable because the knowledge that the Caucasian leadership provides for you keeps you off balance. And you chose to nourish the seed of a liar. What do you think this country is going to be about?
Damn.
A liar, man. Let me tell you something. A liar, because we've all lied before, but I'm just saying somebody who lies consistently, you can't do nothing with that type of person.
Well, talk to me about it. Go deeper. Say more. What is the experience when you're around someone like that? What is the experience?
This is why I go back to what I was saying, the alpha male father not being in the house, the James Evans Sr. type, because did you see how he was? He was not no liar. He wasn't no...
He was straight up.
He was a strong man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was straight up.
You, as a woman, it's so critical for you to go out and find somebody who's worthy that you can actually respect and learn from. And you can't respect a liar.
I will say, though, our society is teaching women to not respect alpha men, to be honest. And that's why a lot of them, because this is my argument with that, especially on the James Evans note, to really be able to be with the alpha male most of the time will not explain himself. You know, unless like you really are in like some great communication circle and you have mutual respect. But a James Evans kind of dude, he just did what he was going to do, and he rarely explained himself. And if you respect that and you truly are going to be submissive to that, you just take it.
The alpha male doesn't explain himself? I didn't see that.
Well, I was going to say not often, unless, like, you know, they had good communication. Flo would be like, well, wait, James, explain that to me. And then he would.
Listen, Flo had James's ear the whole time.
That's what I remember.
No, I was going to say, but
they had good communication.
Yeah.
A lot of women nowadays.
And he liked her, even though she looked like that.
Man. Right.
I'm just saying.
I mean, none of us ever talk about it, but Flo is the shit regardless of how she looks. So anyway.
Right. Florida had that NFL face.
Man.
But I'm just saying.
But my issue is a lot of women aren't willing to submit to an alpha male in that way. A lot of millennial women who consider themselves alphas they see that and get defensive and shut down.
And I say to them, look at your family.
Oh, I agree. But I'm just saying we're raising a generation of women who don't even respect alpha males. They want a beta so they can boss them around.
But any woman who I feel like they call her alpha woman, I just say, look at your family.
Wow.
Look at your kids. You an alpha woman, huh? But what did it get you? Your family is in shambles. Your family is in shambles, most of them. I mean, like, a woman, I'm rooting for it. I want you to raise kids that are wise and make good decisions. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're forced to deal with, is being a single mom. But it's so important that we try to teach the community there is importance in having a mother and father.
Absolutely.
And you know what I'm saying? Picking a dad is not something that you do because you like his hair. And picking a woman is something you don't do because you like her skin tone.
Her body.
You need to pick the right one. And I know there's a lot of people don't know what the right one is. That's what we got to work on in society.
Right.
Learning what's right so that the whole family thing can work again in spite of all of the traps that are out there to turn the family against one another.
Crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Voice of Reason. I think we got phone callers. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Welcome to the Voice of Reason on Dash Talk X. Speak on it.
Hi, everybody. This is Dana.
What
Hey,
up, Dana?
girl.
Well,
I'm going to try to get this out because I'm on the 210 and I'm about to go through that dead zone area.
I got you.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Zoe, Tip, and of course, 40, 5150 Nation, rise up.
what you got on in the car?
Anyway, what I wanted to say, I'm a daddyless daughter, and I know one of your first questions was, how does it affect our lives, having being daddyless, is that's the lens we look through everything in. That's the foot that we lead with. I mean, I could say for myself that I didn't know what fathers did.
Wow.
I didn't know how they functioned. I didn't know what they were for. I grew up in a home with all women and some dysfunctional male cousins, and I actually didn't know our only male role model in my family was an uncle, and he was always seen as the mediator or the monster type that came in and put the hammer down. So I really didn't know how they function, but what I can say is that's how we lead our lives, and that's how we show up in all of our relationships, thinking we're owed something because we didn't have a father. We don't know how they function and what they say and what they do in a household. So that Corey explained a lot of that and how our mothers failed us by not even letting a father or a daddy be part of our lives.
Wow.
Right.
Man, thank you. I grew up with
You're
Dana.
welcome.
She from Dina, man. I grew up with her, man, and it's real talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad that that's how we lead. And my first relationship, I could say, and I'm also an incest survivor, is I met a person, and I fell for somebody that was like my father, who was a hustler. He hustled me and everybody else around him.
God
So
damn.
I had to learn through trial and error.
Man, this is
I
not
don't
easy.
care. I don't care if it's your father, brother,
Thanks,
whoever.
Dana. We appreciate the call.
Once you
All right, you have a good one.
once you realize somebody is cutthroat, you're supposed to get away from them.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's your mama. I could love my mama from a distance if she cutthroat. Hey, mama, how you been? You all right? All right, I'm about to get up out of here, mama. I just want to say what's up. Before you get a chance to chop me down with something,
Right.
if you around me, you gonna get me.
Right.
You gotta get away from cutthroat people.
Right.
Only cutthroat people I would probably tolerate is if it's my kids, because I do my best to try to bring them up out of there.
Try to
But
turn them
by
around.
the time they a certain age, I'll be like, well,
It's true.
I'm sick of your ass.
It's
Cutthroat
true.
motherfucker. You 18. Get the fuck on.
So, what I'm starting to understand is I don't think we can have a fatherless dad, and I'm speaking in generalities.
It's a fatherless girl right here.
That's a fatherless girl right there.
On the internet doing this. That's fatherless.
I want to put that on the camera. Let me see.
Oh my
Do
God.
what you gotta do. Right.
True or false, ladies and gentlemen, is this a fatherless girl?
I bet my life that her dad heard about her graduation. She graduated today? Oh, man. I gotta, I'm going to call her tomorrow.
That was today?
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Oh, man. Today's the first day we've ever broadcast through my Facebook account. Man, I'm having a good time doing it. I see people interacting or whatever. People in there saying, ugh. Well, she wasn't ugly, was she?
Oh, her face was not exciting. No, not at all.
Well, I'll put it like this. She's not oogly, but if we got into an argument, goddammit, I'll come up with some creative shit to say about her.
She not oogly?
No,
No,
she
she's
ain't
not.
oogly.
Her face is questionable as
She's straight for the stroke. That's what we call it where I'm from.
Straight for the stroke.
She's straight for the stroke.
Well, I'm going to say this, man. I got an 18-year-old daughter.
Do you?
Yeah, who just graduated high
Yes.
school. And she's getting ready to go to college.
hey.
the whole 9 yards.
Woo woo.
And what I recognize as respect is when your daughter, or children for that matter, consider you in the decisions that they're going to make in life. I see that as respect.
Absolutely.
My daughter graduating, right after graduation, all these parties, all these 18-year-olds want to prove that they grown. My daughter came to me and her big brother, who's 3 years older,
Right.
and said, yo, is this the type of party I should be at? And her brother, who got game, because he already know that culture, that community over there in Santa Monica that she went to school at, he goes, they're going to be in there fucking.
Ooh.
He was like, I guarantee you, this shit going to be at a hotel. And she was like, no, it's not. He was like, is the address on this motherfucker? She said no. But then one of her friends hit her back later and was like, yeah, it's going to be at this hotel. Because bro had the game. He was like, this is what they do over there.
He's still young enough to know and be in that community.
You see what I'm saying? So he understood, and he told her, like, nah, this ain't the kind of situation you want to be at.
Correct. No, she's
So
not.
once he gave her the game, she came to me and was like, are you on board? I was like, hell no, I ain't on board. What did he say? And she was like, well, he said it's this, that, and the third. I said, well, shit, I don't know what the fuck it is. And because I ain't cool with it, it ain't cool. So you know what she did? She went to her mother, and then she told her mom, I'm not going. Because dad and new ain't cool with it. She said, I don't want to put myself in a situation to where I either got to call them or I got to call you, or I don't know these people.
I mean, if that's what happened, I've never met your daughter, but I know a lot about her because when your daughter knows you, loves you, sees that you out in public doing things, oh, my brother played basketball here, they don't want to make you look stupid unless they scandalous bitches.
That's how you know they consider you.
Now, scandalous bitches don't give a fuck with nobody thing.
Go deeper.
I
Say
done
more.
seen them at age 6. My sister, my sister's child. One day I had, she always see me. I tell this story. I always, hey, Uncle Corey, play with me. One day I was with a girl, and her whole attitude changed. She was sitting back looking at me crazy, and I said, hey, and she didn't say nothing. Now, this little girl jump up and down every time she see me, but she saw me with a girl. And I was like, this gonna be a funky little bitch.
Oh, my God. At age 6, he was
Who
like,
does that? Who does that? I'm like, you always happy to see me. You see me with somebody? You got them type of shits to work with? I would need her around me until she at least 18 to save her from that. But ain't nobody around her to save her from that. Because her mama ain't shit.
Damn.
My crackhead sister, that lousy bitch. So I knew that she was going to grow up to have issues. Because when you see shit like that in a little girl, it's almost like your life mission to bring her up out of that. No, you can't be that way. You got to learn woo, woo, woo. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you see something that challenges you or you see something that you don't like, you have to learn how to handle that correctly.
Mm.
And I'm saying, like, a woman could teach a girl that and a man could teach a girl that. But when you got both people around teaching you that, like, hey, this is what I peeped about her. Woo, woo, woo. It's serious. This is nothing to play with.
Yes.
I want her to be able to face challenges without thinking she got to be jealous and acting funny. Because she grew up with that shit because I wasn't around her. Well, I was bold enough to say it. Oh, this is a little funky-ass bitch. This is my niece, but she a little funky-ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You got to catch this shit. It's called parenting.
Oh, let's transition just a little bit. So you hear a lot. I was on Hollywood Unlocked with Melissa Ford and all of them the other day.
Street pussy.
And they had this brother in. Damn.
That's what it is. That pussy belong to the game.
They had this brother in, I guess he's a lawyer. He's from North Carolina. Got good upbringing or whatnot. But I feel like a lot of educated brothers be reading, the reading from the white supremacy manual. No disrespect to the brother. His father was Panther and, into all of that, and SNCC. No, his father was in SNCC and, HBCU grad and all that. And no disrespect to the brother. But when I hear, especially when you have 70% of all African-American babies born out of wedlock,
right?
Number one. Then you have this high epidemic of fatherless kids, right, in the African-American community. To turn around and say, I mean, in matter-of-factly and glib, kind of like, oh, well, there's no other race that's more toxic in their masculinity than African-Americans.
He said that?
Yeah, he was like, African-American men are the most toxic when it comes to masculinity.
I have to highly disagree.
So
he said that in the presence of non-African-American men.
Well, he said it.
Yeah, he said, why no real men was around him.
He said it while I was there, and I said, no.
Right.
I said, first off, if African-American men are classified as toxic masculinity, who do we model that from?
Right.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, somebody challenged him. I'm glad you challenged him. Because
like,
if I was in the room, I would have been like, what?
Yeah. I was like, that's a talking point. He's a Democrat. He's a politician kind of guy, political pundit or whatever. And I'm like, no. No. If you're going to say if you're going to say black men are the most toxic when it comes to masculinity, you've never seen a black man in any public forum act like Donald Trump.
No. And that's why I said it's not even possible really for black men to have toxic masculinity because they're not actually allowed to even exert their full masculinity the way that society is formed now.
But that is the feminist talking points that he was coming from.
Oh,
now
the white feminist talking points.
The brother's name is Bakari. I forgot his last name.
Bakari.
Bakari spelling, I think.
Well, he was named by a bitch.
No, he's named by a brother.
Who the fuck is Bakari? Ain't that some alcohol?
No.
You so sometimes you
Bakari is Arabic.
You a comedian.
I thought you said Bacardi.
No, yeah, I was like, it actually has a meaning. His name is meaningful.
You didn't say Bacardi. You said
Bakari.
Bakari. Oh,
Yes.
my bad.
Take out the D, brother.
No, but
I thought he said Bacardi.
I think the brother's a smart brother, but I think
Bacardi,
I think whenever you buy in, Bakari Sellers is his name.
Is he smart?
I think he's a smart brother, but I think he's
wickedly brilliant.
Yes, I think whenever you're dealing with politics, you can't really be real.
Right.
You can't really be truthful, and a lot of people forget about that because I explained to him we talking about politics. He was like, "Oh, you cynical. You're cynical." I said, "Wait a minute.
You're working within a broken system."
I said, "Hold on, bro. Let's go back to the Greek meaning of the word politics. It means theater.
Yes.
This is a game.
Show.
Everybody playing a role.
Right.
But black people be trying to take it real serious. And I'm not saying that, number one, you can't go on a local level and make a change in your community through voting. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is to believe in somebody like, say, Hillary Clinton as the alternative to Donald Trump, what's going to be different? Well, if she was president today, things would be. But how? When her and her husband in 94 sentenced black America to 3 strikes you're out, destroyed black families, period. Zero tolerance drug. So again,
Clinton was the white Obama.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so I don't necessarily, you're cynical. You're cynical. I'm saying, look, it's hard to be an authentic black man.
True.
When you're trying to fit into a definition written by a white man, a social definition written by a white man. So then it turns into a back and forth semantics game.
Right.
I said, in order to be successful in America, and I'm talking about within the higher realms of America, black men have to capitulate to a certain degree. Oh, no, they don't. No, we don't. Yet then you finally get around to, well, kind of, yeah, we do. What? Okay, so You're trying to tell me the lesser of two evil argument ain't real when Margaret Sanger was praised by Hillary Clinton. Well, you got to understand, only 3% of Planned Parenthood is actually abortions. The other stuff they do is really good. Wait a minute. I'm talking about Margaret Sanger, the woman who said black people are weeds. This was a eugenics program.
It was.
Black people don't deserve to reproduce. That was her belief. This is Hillary Clinton's. Do you understand? That's her hero.
How many white people have you met that's moral? Who do you know that's Caucasian that's moral? Well, I mean, like, what? Why is that so shocking? Like, who have you met Caucasian that's moral, ZoWilliams? I'm asking you, have you met one? You see how hard you have to think, and you read all the time. So you don't even have to answer. You don't have to answer, because most of the times when we answer that question, we answer it because we don't want to burn bridges.
Right. But see, to me, that's the fake shit.
That's what I'm talking about. So whoever Bahari, or whatever the fuck his name is, what's Bakari?
Yeah.
What the fuck is you talking about, Bakari? What are you talking about? Who are you trying to impress to gain something from? Because you're doing politics right now.
To me.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
I say that to you because I knew it would put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you have to be phony for them to justify who they are.
Right.
But the truth is, almost everyone I ever met turned out to be just who I thought they were.
And again, the trickle-down effect affects our relationships as black men and black women. Because you don't have no real leverage unless you playing a game they put in front of you to play.
Which is why I don't really, like, take all of what my mom says about relationships, like, in fully to my considerations, because she's not dealing, like, she has no lens for dealing with black men. Like, I can only learn
her mother is white and her father
white.
is black, though. Her biological pop is black.
So, like, the lens for, like, learning how to deal with black men, like, I'm just really upfront with black men that I deal with. Like, you have to teach me how to respect you because I wasn't taught that. You know, like, I'm just really honest about it. Like,
but wait a minute, hold on.
I tell people you have to be respectful from the jump.
No,
because
like,
when you're respectful, you understand what respect means.
Right.
So watch what I do and go off that. Because if I'm not respectful, I can't play it off like I was.
No, I agree with that. But, like, to a point, like, culturally, there are different, again, like you said, white people's morality is different. And so, like, I really just approach black men with, I'm going to respect you the way that I know how. But if I do something disrespectful, you just need to tell me. Like, because sometimes I'm not disrespectful on purpose.
Let me tell you, mess with black men, not all of them, but I'm saying a lot of Caucasian women who mess with black men, that's what they do while they're desirable. Right. But when they get to the point where don't nobody really want them no more, they go back home and they be around their peoples. And they know their peoples ain't no good because they done seen both sides. But that's who accepts them in the end, and that's who they wind up being with as they wilt away.
He ain't never
So
lied.
let me come back to you. I told my son and daughter, as y'all motherfuckers was getting older and growing up, I'm making mistakes, but I'm still leading y'all. I'm fucking up. And I'm learning, and as I learn, I share shit with you.
Right.
Your job is to go out into the world and see how much bullshit from my mistakes has affected the way you see the world.
Agreed.
Then you come back to me and go, Dad, you was wrong about this, though. Dad, you was right about this. Dad, you fucked up here. And I'm open to what you see in the world.
You're open.
To me, you got to be able to go back to your mama.
Oh, yeah, we wish that was a thing. I mean, I'd be trying. So.
But I'm just, no, you got to go back to her and say, just like in Black Panther, you were wrong. All of you were wrong. You shouldn't have left him. You know, the man went to the ancestral plane.
Aborted my brothers and sisters.
I'm saying.
Because it was convenient for you.
Right. Do you understand?
You get what I'm
Because
saying?
your mother does not get off the hook
Oh, and she
by not
doesn't.
having a way to deal with black men when in fact your biological father is a black man. And it's up to you to be like, hell no, mom.
Oh no, like that's why like part of me finding my dad is part of that. Like
Yeah.
she really can't handle it, but I'm like, I'm 30 now. We gonna have to handle it.
It got
I
it.
really
You know
think
what I mean?
that it's a lot of women who think that men are dumb. And when you challenge them with things that you know are right, they dismiss you. Like, I don't even want to have to deal with that. I'll
Because
get
that
away
shit
from
is
you
right.
and get around somebody who won't even impose that on me. So it's like they really never see the truth until them last days in that hospital bed when you ain't got the makeup on to hide how you really look. You go away looking at a monster you've been running from your whole life.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you. It's like I try to prepare women I care about for that because I don't want you to go through that. I don't want you to be helpless before you realize
Right.
who you are. Or not, no, they're not stupid. They realize who they are before you face who you really are.
Right. Right.
Don't face the monster at the end and be looking at God like, oh, I'm going to go to church and all that. No.
Oh, hell no.
You sick now. You on your way out. You don't have the validity to prove who you are.
It's over.
You're nothing no more. My time I get your time you was given on this earth, you spent it bullshit.
Right.
Now you want everybody to feel sorry for you. And now get the fuck out of here. You
out.
You gonna die, ain't shit bitch. Just like if some dudes gonna die, ain't shit motherfucker never faced who they really were and tried to deal with it because it's lonely when you really are the person who you really are around people. Because a lot of people don't want to deal with who you really are. They want to deal with the phoniness. You better get ready to look for somebody who down with you for who you are.
Wow.
This is how I really look without all this stuff on. This is the issues I have. Woo.
Right.
Once you put it out there, it's easier to deal with. Instead
Exactly.
of somebody guessing it or suggesting it, then you get mad and dismiss them. You can't even fix nothing like that with a person like that once they get a certain age.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Voice of Reason. My special guest, Corey Holcomb, comedian, actor, entertainer extraordinaire, in here dropping the truth, ladies and gentlemen, is going down in the town here on Dash Talk X. Tonight's topic, daddyless daughters. Is it all the daddy's fault?
Nah, man.
Jeez. Does the absence of daddy in a girl's life affect the way they love? Jesus Christ.
Hell yeah, because shit, they got to see the other side.
God damn. Do we got callers or? The phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. Call us. Let us know what you think, man, is going down in the town. We in the building. Corey Holcomb just slapped this upside the dome piece. I often worry about who it is I'm dating because when I find out that there's some brokenness in that person, and everybody got it,
Right.
but when I find out that there's some brokenness in that person, the first thing I try to ascertain is, are you trying to face it? Are you trying to deal with it? Because if you're not trying to deal with the brokenness, I already know you got built-in excuses and blame for the person you trying to be with. Because they're there to maintain whatever that brokenness is. They're not there to relate. They're not there to unpack. They're not there to do any of that. And I'm just looking at the effects of our relationships as families, right? So when I see a daddyless daughter, I want to know, what's your relationship with him now? You an adult now.
Right.
What's your relationship with him now? Oh, he dead? You don't have a relationship with him? Or you ain't talked to him and it's been whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Then I'm going to come back and say, what's your relationship with your mother?
Right.
Because I want to see how you hold mom accountable
That part.
for the situation that you have to that you got to unravel and figure out.
Right.
Because it ain't just your dad's fault for not being there. There's
Right.
reasons. Now, you can blame a man because of the social narrative and the template that says, at the end of the day, you make a baby, you're responsible. You know, it's black and white. You make a baby, you're responsible. You got to handle it. You got to take care of it regardless.
Man.
So in a way, by making the man the end all begin all when it comes
Scapegoat.
to, he's the scapegoat, and it kind of lets the mama just say, well, I'm mama. You know, in America, in the world, motherhood is beyond reproach. And I've often said, nobody can hurt you like a mama.
Right.
And
Which
when
is where you said
when
that.
moms are bad,
Man.
when moms use children as pawns to keep that kid away from the dad, to
Right.
keep the dad at bay, so to speak.
Right.
That's a type of mothering that we got to deal with.
Well, that would be toxic mothering, honestly, and that's what happens to a lot of women, and why they have what really happens is it's mother issues that manifest as daddy issues.
How about
Because
it?
that daughter doesn't learn not only how to deal with the man, but she doesn't ever learn how to challenge her mother appropriately.
But
like
exactly.
for me, like you said, like holding my mom accountable. Like I actually, thankfully, because my mom and I actually have like this weird, more like we're more friends and we are like mother-daughter. We have like this weird different boundary issue, like not boundary issues, but we just have a different relationship than quote unquote whatever typical mother-daughter is. Like I do push her a lot and give her pushback. And so like when I question her or ask her things and hold her accountable, you know, one of our, you know, more recent conversations is I said, do you want me to go find him and find out the truth from a stranger? Or do you want to tell me that shit yourself? Because we have love and 30 years of a relationship built here. You think I'm going to judge you for that? I don't care.
But see,
Do you want to tell me or do you want me to hear some shit from a stranger?
but that's key. You think I'm going to judge you for this?
Right. I'm like, I'm not.
But
Tell
we
me.
judge daddy.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, society does judge daddy.
Yeah.
But that's why I pushed her because, like, literally she tried to be like, oh, it's because he was, you know, abusive
But
and a
this
drug
is
dealer.
me pushing you,
Right.
saying,
Oh, I don't judge
Mom,
him either.
what I'm saying, mom is off the hook for the most part. And I'm not talking about just you specifically.
No, society.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
in our community. Mom is off the hook a lot of times.
Right.
How about this? You look at your mother and say, do you think I'm not capable of finding out who you really are?
Oh, no, I've already told her that. She already knows. I'm like, I know all your shit. Like, I know your shit. Like, it's come out. Like, mom's done drugs. Mom was a hoe. Like, that's the thing. Like, I
Don't
told her.
act
I was
like I'm stupid. I'll tell
Right,
anybody
no, we
that.
have that
If
conversation
I
all the
dig,
time.
I haven't dug yet. And it's not because of you. It's just I haven't done it. This is actually your opportunity to
No,
give
yeah.
it to me.
No, that's exactly what
But when
I said
I
to her.
find out,
Yeah.
I ain't got to say what it is after that.
Right.
You don't want me to find out who you are through investigation. I think you should tell me so I can trust you a lot more.
That's what I
Wow.
told her. I was like, you know, I can find out from wherever or I can find out from you.
I'm resourceful. I never trip off nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
To
told
be
her, I was like, you
honest,
could have kidnapped me from the hospital. Like, honestly, like, my mama could have just stole me from the goddamn hospital.
That's
I don't
funny.
care. You still my goddamn mama. I'm going to love you regardless. Like, no bullshit. Like, an alien could have come down and impregnated you. We don't fucking know.
because
Just
it's
tell
that
me
mama
the shit.
love.
Right. Like, you
gonna
still my
have
mama.
her back.
You gonna have her
Yeah,
back.
Like, Mama, I got your back still with your scandalous ass.
Well,
That's
'cause
how I talk.
But we need.
But you a scandalous motherfucker for that shit
But
you did.
most daughters aren't going to do that with me. Like, most are going to be afraid of the confrontation.
Right.
The relationship isn't there. They are going to judge.
The
And-
confrontation with who? The mom?
Yeah,
But see, this is why I gotta come back.
Yeah.
You gotta have that confrontation with the mama
absolutely.
because how often do you see a daughter
Mm-hmm.
confront a mother for teaching her how to be a passive-aggressive social prostitute?
Man, they never do.
Listen,
It's almost like they thank them instead of question it or challenge it. Like, oh, you taught me how to be a survivor. You taught me how to be independent. Like, blah, blah, blah. No, you taught me to be a fucking passive-aggressive prostitute that don't need no man.
Told
Now
me
I'm
how
lonely.
to play a motherfucker.
Right. How to be moralist and support white supremacy and capitalism. Right.
You go with side who winning. That's what I know
Ooh,
of
shit,
most
damn.
mamas from the ghetto. You pick who winning,
Man.
and that's who you stand behind. If child support is winning, we gonna go with that. But if we out there fighting power and the people, we winning, I'm gonna jump on the side of the motherfucking niggas then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. And that's what we have to learn to accept, because the truth is women are a resource.
Yeah.
We are the motherfuckers that got to jump in this fight. But if the soldiers are raised by the queens, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The soldiers are cat fighting. Like your boy Bacardi. That's cat fighting. Talking shit about niggas and you black and you know what it is.
because when we talk about toxic masculinity and the black man gets blamed for it, first off, the black man is America's boogeyman. That's number one. We've already done the research. We've already seen the numbers. Yes, 96% of black on black crime happens between black people. That's why it's black on black crime.
Right.
But
High
85, 86% of white on white crime is against white people.
So they're around each other.
Because they're around it. So again, we got to stop villainizing the black man. This ain't birth of a nation.
Right.
If the black man has toxic masculinity, it's a byproduct of a toxic society.
Yes.
If black women are holding black men to a white man's economic status, I need you to mimic the white man, because the white man can buy a house. The white man can send our kids to private school. The white man can do all this shit.
That's
if
real.
black women are holding white or black men to a white male economic standard, that is participating in white supremacy.
Go to the hospital right now and look at all the little black babies in there. They innocent, ain't they?
Yeah.
By the time they 18, the woes of the world will be blamed on them.
How about it? How about it? Shit, we talked about Tamir Rice in Cleveland. The police thought he was grown. So you mean the society sees our little boys as adults? How is that not a toxic society? You can't say in one breath the black man is the most toxic when it comes to toxic masculinity.
Again, they can't even be masculine because at 13 you're shooting us in the streets. We're not even grown yet. How are we gonna
Why
have
do you
toxic
think they don't do that to
masculinity?
the women? Why do you think they don't do that to the women? I would ask you too. Like, why do you think the women don't get blamed with all of the stuff that the men get blamed with?
Because we perpetuate the white supremacy. Because we're the ones that promote capitalism. We're the ones sucking up education, even though they already proved that education isn't improving our economic status.
Please do me a favor.
It's not improving our
diamonds
buying
are
power.
a girl's best friend.
Like,
Please
And
do me
they
a
tell
favor.
you, we got something for you if you do this for us.
Your
Tip.
your wedding ring's supposed to be 2.5 times your monthly wage, and your motherfuckers are all unemployed. So, bitch, you don't get a ring. Shut up.
Tiff, you gotta do me a favor. Hey, everybody in the chat room on Facebook, please find a page. Share this page. Share it, share it, share it. Me, Corey Holcomb. This is Diet 5150. Don't worry, nation. I'm going to be back in the building soon enough, man. My kid go back to school next week, man. I'm going to be back. But look, we in here turned up right now. I need y'all to participate. Share this video, Facebook Live. Share it, share it, share it. Find a page to share it on. Share it right now. Let me come back to this. Today's topic is a doozy, man. Daddyless daughters with special guest Corey Holcomb on the Voice of Reason on Dash Talk.
I'm always able to have sex with daddyless daughters for minimal cash output.
Why is it so? Is it easier?
Of course it's easier.
Well, by the time they're 25, 26, they're in comparable positions. They need help. Their way isn't working, and it's starting to blossom into disaster mode.
Blossom.
So that little $150, $200 that I offer, south of Wilshire,
Oh, shit.
Oh,
it works.
my God, Corey.
It works. It's almost like I want to do an experiment. Like the dude, like, the NBA ain't on, so I watch other shows. And I watch these shows, The Monster Fish and all this
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
where they
yeah.
be hunting and everything.
Yeah.
I want to do a show like that. Like, today we're looking for $75 girls. Now, $75.
So this is like
girls,
hunting for monster fish, but we
$75 girls that's attractive. You'd be surprised
It's not hard.
how many quality looking, underlying quality looking girls you can get for this $75 if you fish over here.
Wow.
He ain't lying. I'm mad because
And
he
they're
be like
all
so telling the truth.
fatherless. They don't know. They have nothing. They don't have a dad and a brother that they are ashamed to let them find out that this is how they get down. You know what I mean? Like you say, so your daughter was asking y'all questions about stuff like that. They don't have that male to be like, so what's up with this?
Right.
They got their mama to be like, I hope you at least got that 75 about that fool.
Damn.
Oh man.
This is an experiment that can be done and edited within a week. Let's
It's
see.
probably already been done. You've been done it already. It sounds like.
But I haven't. It hasn't been taped. Who can you get for $75?
Ronan Martin called it Thought Hunters, starring Corey Holcomb. So again, we've got a broken culture
Yeah.
within a broken society,
Right.
within a broken nation, led by a broken president. And then how, if that's the case, how the fuck do we narrow it all the way back down to black men are the most misogynistic or black men are the most toxic when it comes to masculinity?
I hate when people say that because every girl, when I'm through with her, I don't just drop her off back in the hood after I'm through with her. I take them to get some Kentucky Fried Chicken or some Taco Bell or something. So when they leave on a full stomach, nourished.
Oh my God, nourished. Ladies and gentlemen, get to your phone lines. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. Corey Holcomb is live on The Voice of Reason on Dash Talk X.
She
today.
needs a spork for her coleslaw.
Man, KFC is the only place, or Popeyes, the only place I know that still got sporks, y'all.
A sport.
Man, anyways.
hey, Phil, let's go to a quick break, man. Let's drop a quick 30-second break, man, and then we'll be right back. Again, you're listening to The Voice of Reason on Dash Talk X, man. The new Dash Talk X, VOR. You know how we do. We'll be back at 2.2.
I can go to the bathroom, right?
Yes.
The voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call.
Pete, you are now tuned in to the voice of reason. The big humble self is your host this evening. ZoWilliams, many topics. Talk about everything, ain't nothing out of pocket. Religion and music to maximizing profit. How to tell if your relationship is toxic. If you on the wrong path, we can stop it. Knowledge is like the beat and we drop it. So tune in and get you some wisdom from square guests to niggas that's just out of prison. So whether you're saint, sinner, or heathen, get you some grown game from the voice of reason.
On Dash Talk X, the revolution is all mental, punk. Dash Talk X. The place where the revolution starts in your dusty ass mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason returns. I'm back in the building. You know what you're listening to. Let's hear it again.
Dash Talk X. The place where the revolution starts in your dusty ass mind.
That's right. This is the place where the revolution starts in your dusty ass mind. I want to challenge people. Listen. If you're just tuning into the Voice of Reason, this is tonight's topic, daddyless daughters. Everything that's wrong with the black community is a symptom. Can we argue this point? Everything that's wrong with the black community is a symptom of white supremacy, white oppression, white politics, white education, white economics. Can we argue that point? So, and not to belabor the point about the brother saying that black men are the most toxic when it comes to masculinity, but I want to understand why there are such a high number of daddyless daughters in the African American community. Look at our people. Our people have been put on a hamster wheel. That says, chase the dream, chase the dream, chase the cheese, chase the cheese. Where white people, they have never used the hamster wheel here in America. They don't even know what the fuck its purpose is for. But you got a hamster wheel trying to keep up with them. Now, J. Krishnamurti, my favorite philosopher, says, it is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. Is our political system broken?
Yes.
Is our judicial system broken?
Yes.
Is our educational system broken?
Yes.
Oh, well, let's go vote. Wait a minute. How the fuck we gonna go vote? Well, you just gotta participate. Participation is how you fix it. What?
That's not true.
But that is the narrative.
They make the rules as it goes.
Oh, if you didn't want this bastard that's in there now, you should have voted. Well, if we would have all voted and got the 90,000 that we needed to get Hillary in, who is Hillary to be touted as better than him?
Wasn't Trayvon Martin slaughtered by a maniac while Obama was in office?
Yes.
Boom.
It doesn't matter who's the president of the United States. As long as Caucasian power is in power, chaos is all we'll get out of it.
And
even with them,
right?
Because their kids don't respect their parents either. It's just the money and the privilege hides the results of what happened when you're disrespectful.
Wow.
They don't go to jail. They become the cops.
Wow. Wow.
I think that's why a lot of people don't like how I talk about black women participating in white supremacy and perpetuating it. And that's why so many people are uncomfortable with it, because the truth of the matter is we have to completely disrupt the system. Like, changing it little by little is not realistic. It's going to take a militantly aggressive disruption.
But
a lot of people are uncomfortable with that.
But this is what I do agree with. It's got to be political too, though.
Yeah, definitely. But it's got to be a disruption. It can't be like one little change here and one little change. No, it's going to be like an aggressively upsetting
The warmongers have shown themselves.
Right.
Yes.
They are who they are, and they've got so cocky with it, they don't even hide who they are no more. They got this thing called the internet where they show themselves.
Right. Fuck it. This is who we are.
Right.
What are you going to do about it?
You ain't do shit about it.
As long as you're talking about voting and trying to do something through a system, it's all bullshit.
But what we haven't done, and this is why I say part of it is political, what we haven't done is use the political apparatus the way they use it. There's no lobbyist for niggas.
No,
There's no interest groups in D.C.
because all of those things are funded by money that's funded by wealth, which we don't have.
Exactly.
Well, we have wealth. It's just what they call wealth, and what we recognize as wealth.
Well, right.
Is their money that they make.
Right.
So why
Right.
do you think you don't have it? It's
Right.
like people are talking about save your dollars. What, the dollars they allowed you to have?
Right.
Let me tell you something. Wealth is Africa.
Man.
In the ground.
You ain't
You see
never
what I'm
in the
lied.
saying?
soil.
We got kidnapped from our wealth, the land and everything.
The natural resource that is our
There ain't
inheritance.
nothing you
Yes.
can do here that's going to put you back on track except to get away from Caucasian leadership. And the only way you're getting away from them is if you kill them.
And you know what's so powerful about what you
I
just
didn't
said?
say what he said, though.
No, you know what's so
Don't put that
powerful?
on my shit here, okay?
He said, I want to go back to that point. He said, wealth is Africa.
Yes.
Now, peep game. Anybody who knows anything about wealth knows that real money is gold. That's what J.P. Morgan said. Money is gold. Well, we know gold is Africa, right? So if real money is gold, and the dollar isn't gold, the dollar is equivalent to Jesus,
Some bullshit.
No.
right? You get the coupon that says this is worth this. Do you understand?
Well, it's only worth
Proclaim
what
the
you
wealth.
recognize it for. And that's where if black people would stop recognizing the things that white people tell us to, that would change the wealth system. That's what black people don't realize. If we would just get off the hamster wheel of trying to be like them, we could literally change the dynamic of what the system is.
It's not enough
If we
people
stop
bold enough
putting-
to say who they are.
Agreed.
But I'm saying,
Everybody worried about what they should be worried about because they some warmongers. And I'm saying, like,
Right.
there's nobody who's going to come help you if you black. I don't care how bad you act. There's no group in the world that's coming to make them do right by us.
No.
We
Right.
gotta sacrifice life because they can't beat us. I know they got all kinds of weapons they done created and computer systems and said, hey, sign this. So now we have the right to look into your home and everything else with all this Patriot Act. But they don't outnumber us like that. It's just it has to be something that triggers the animals that are not warmongers, because we're not warmongers, because if we was, we'd have already done something.
Right.
We just that one little circus elephant that keep getting whacked. Then he show his real strength, grab him and throw him against the wall. Then they come kill the elephant.
Right.
And the rest of the elephants stand there scared because they like, I don't want to die. You know what I'm saying? But
crazy.
if we
Well-
did what we supposed to do, man, they not strong as us.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Voice of Reason on Dash Talk X. I just like to say that. We got
X.
Dash Talk X. We just did a merger with Slacker Radio. Now we're in all the Tesla vehicles.
Hey, Tesla, what up?
What up, Tesla?
Put that
What up?
fire out. Them motherfuckers be burning up like them skateboards used to be on the plane.
Like the
Hoverboards.
a hot cell phone in your pocket. Just
Oh,
catch
and the
on
cell
fire.
phones, I forgot. They were
You finna
just
drive to
blown up.
Vegas. Poof. Oh, I'm messing up the sponsorship.
You really killing the game right now.
Edit that out. Edit that out.
My special guest in the building is none other than comic, actor, entrepreneur, businessman. Corey Holcomb is in the building right now. 5150.
Tesla's like the baby on The Incredibles.
Jack.
Right. He turned into a flamethrower.
The phone lines are popping. I got Tiff Talk in the building. Let's get busy. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name and where you calling from? Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Speak on it.
Hey, Zo. Hi, Tiff. Hi, Corey.
What up? Who is this?
Aubrey from L.A.
Aubrey, what up? What up?
Okay, Okay, Corey, I'm gonna need you to just be quiet till I finish. Because
Okay, go ahead. Let's.
don't make me not want to tell my little story.
Okay, let your story. Let your story.
Okay, so I am a present absent fatherless daughter. Like my dad was always around, but he let my mom control our relationship for the most part. Like he wasn't allowed to discipline me, and just basically my mom had all the control. And then
what's your mama's birthday? Let's do this.
She's an Aries. She's on the cusp.
That motherfucker just said it. Corey just.
She's 420.
Damn, she Hitler.
420.
Oh, shit.
Yep,
Hitler and Luther Vandross. She's slapping you and singing at the same
Hitler
time.
in the name of Jesus, though.
Oh,
More
God.
Aries women are in the emergency room than any other women.
I can't
Motherfucker
stand
just
you, Corey,
snap.
but I love you.
You bitch, I'll kill you. No,
Yeah, she's crazy. Well, she's not crazy, but she's a firecracker. And she didn't allow my father to be a father, but at the same time, he had his own demons that he allowed that to go down. So, I don't know. I just, as I've gotten older, I've realized how much it affected me because I'm a side situationer. Like, and actually, though, brief backstory, my parents had an affair, and there I came. So
wow,
I was born into some craziness. But they both loved me unconditionally and all of this, but just from day one, it was all crazy. And so now they're married. They've been married. I'm in my 30s, and they've been married since I was 16, and they're basically living happily ever after. And I'm making it. I have 2 children, 2 teenage children, and their dad has the same birth. Well, no, his birthday is the day after my dad's.
Mm-hmm.
So, I obviously went looking for.
Well, let me ask you
what
this:
I was missing.
Both of your kids by the same dude?
Yes.
That's an accomplishment.
He said that's an
They're a
accomplishment.
year apart. They're actually the same age for 2 weeks. So, yeah, no.
But that's interesting. I want to know what difficulties did you encounter in your relationships that made you reflect back on your relationship with your father, or lack thereof?
What difficulties? Well, I
like, what did you run into where you?
Bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. But you ran into something and it was like, shit, this reminds me of my dad, or this leads me back to an understanding surrounding, my relationship with my dad. So you accepted a lot of bullshit is what came up first. Talk to me about that.
Well, first of all, I'm comfortable being. I used to be. Let me rephrase that. I used to be comfortable being a side chick. Like that was all good. It was like no strings attached, but I still expect something. Most of the time, it was monetary, but
A visit on Thanksgiving.
I'm over it.
The day after Thanksgiving.
Oh my God.
All of that, yeah, basically. But I started young. Like I had both of my children before I was 18. So.
Well, here we go.
A stop-by hug on Christmas.
I started young. I started literally being sexually active right before I started junior high school. So I was like 12.
Well, hold on.
I always dated older guys though. Like, so the guy was like 17. He might even been 18.
When you were 12?
And I was 12. But I was a grown 12. I was a little thicky.
No.
Ain't no such thing as a
your
grown
body
12.
was mature. Your mind was not. Let's just be all honest. Yes, you hit puberty.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yes.
I was very out of 6th grade in the mind. But
Yeah, I hit puberty when I was in the 5th grade. That did not make me grown. But anyways.
Corey has something to say to you right now. I like putting Corey on. Corey,
you live in L.A., right?
She know who you are, Corey. Tell her.
What?
Yes, I know who you are.
Go ahead, offer your $75.
I know you got 2 boys, so I can squeeze in 100 for you. If your boys are the same age for 2 weeks out the year, that means
younger, like
That means he couldn't wait for that pussy to heal up. So that let me know a lot about you, I'll wear rubber to stop all that nonsense.
You already knew it was going to happen that way. Come on.
No, I know. I get the challenge she under, but it seems like she will be all right. And I say that not being phony. I say that because she's willing to talk about it.
You know, a lot of women don't want to talk about it.
When you get it off your chest, it actually feels so much better when you say stuff that's bothering you. That's why people pay to go see them psychiatrists. When you can just call into the Zoe show or meet up with me later on, and I rent a room with a chair to let back in it.
Stop.
No, oh my God. But he is right in regards to your being self-reflective, which means you're ahead of most people already, because you're already thinking about it and trying to make correlations.
So again, fathers teach boundaries.
Yeah, she didn't have no boundaries.
You 12.
Yeah, no, I had none. My mother, my dad, he tried, because I was wild. So if y'all can, I was wild. I was 12 years old hanging out with grown people. My best friend, in quotes, was 19. A 19-year-old Trinidadian girl, and I'm 12. But we got along well. She was from another culture, and, we vibe. I have an older sister.
Aubrey,
who was,
really quickly, Aubrey. Corey Holcomb would like for you to send a picture of yourself to the email.
Corey, I'm not fucking with you. Leave me alone.
You could just send it from the neck up. We can take it from there.
You knew. Come on now. You know who he is.
She said she what? You what?
I'm healing. I'm getting past all the bullshit. It's just my relationship with my parents now it's cool, but I just don't really deal with them very much. Like I see them weekly, maybe, because my son lives with them right now, and he's 18. He chose to go live with his grandparents.
Does the towel go around you when you get out the tub?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, look at you. My towel don't go around. I'm going to be so honest.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because... Let me ask you this, because here's where the forgiveness work comes in. A lot of times we look at dad, especially in a scenario like this. Dad is gone. Dad isn't around. But I'm going to say you hold both parents accountable.
Yeah, she got
right.
it.
We already know dad's presence is going to create boundaries for a daughter.
Right.
But the fact that there were no boundaries. Wait, let me clear this up though. Now we got to go to mom.
Right.
If you could see your dad's other girl, you would not be mad at him no more.
Oh shit. So now I want to understand. Mom wanting to be in control so much.
This is why, baby.
This ruined your relationship and ruined your ability to establish, some meaningful boundaries when having relationship with men without sex. Here you are, 12.
Man, clearly didn't teach her how to make meaningful boundaries even with women. Outside of family, there is no logical reason a 12-year-old should be being friends with a 19-year-old, period.
So maybe he had lollipop.
I had way too much freedom.
She didn't teach you how to have boundaries with men or women.
So what is the quality of your relationship with your father and your mother? Start with your mother.
Enough said.
I would say, I love her. We get along very, very well because I understand her crazy. And so now, though, because she's so Jesus crazy, I don't.
Is your relationship with your mother better than your relationship with your father?
Yeah. Yes.
And your mama is the problem. Okay.
If she is the problem, you're excusing her and not holding her accountable, but then not excusing your dad this time.
Long conversations with my dad about life. If I need to know something about politics, sports, or some money situation, then I talk to my dad.
You ain't never messed with none of his homies, did you?
I love him sometimes. What?
I was just wondering, like, when your dad go to the store or something.
What, nigga?
Get his ass. Go get him.
She's like, I don't have boundaries, but I have boundaries.
But do you see where we are in this conversation? Do you see where we are in this conversation? Your gender partnership with your mother is preferable to you than your relationship with your father. Your relationship with your father appears to be transactional.
Yes.
When I want to talk about business, when I want to talk about some money, or this and that, when I need solutions for whatever situation I'm going through.
But at least I pick up on this. She willing to allow you to have a conversation with her.
But will she have that same conversation with her father? Because that's really where the boundaries and stuff can be readdressed. You said you...
Well, now they're in their 60s and 70s. Like,
So?
it's like, I don't want to drudge up old bad memories and they all happily ever after.
Why not? Your relationship's going to do it anyway.
Right, girl. I'm drudging up stuff from 30 years ago.
Ideal relationship is now all just listen. So I'm working on myself. I've been working on myself for a while.
Because your dad is stable, your mom, he has a place to live. Your mom went back, right? Let's just tell the truth. Your mom was like, I might as well just be with him. He still wanted.
Transactional, yes.
That's what happened. Come on, man. You talking to the streets.
You talking to the streets.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it's cheaper to keep her or whatever. And
Ladies and gentlemen.
Cheaper to be with him.
Ladies and
you
gentlemen.
still want this? Okay, I'll come.
Hey, baby
All
girl,
my
thank
other
you.
options gone.
Thank you for the call. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're listening to Street Therapy. Corey Holcomb.
The Corey Holcomb on Twitter. Get at me and let me see how you look, and I can tell you how much I got for you.
Oh, my God. I can't.
This is real shit going down on this
Real
conversation.
shit.
We got time for one more caller. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, shit.
Caller. Call. Do it, Corey. Call.
Caller.
You're on the line. Welcome to the Voice of Reason. What's up, man? Get to it, man. You only got a short amount of time to do it.
What up, G?
Okay, man. Basically touching on what you were saying, man. Daddyless daughters. I'm glad you said it. Daddyless daughters is really a social, political, and economic power move on the part of the institutions that are in place. Dr. Bobby E. Wright said that in a racist social system, all institutions will reflect, protect, and sustain values that are consistent with racism. He said this should not be considered surprising or profound since all institutions serve to perpetuate the social theory of the group which created them.
Wow.
And he also says that we are still enslaved today due to the fact that for the very simple reason that all of our life-sustaining institutions are controlled and defined by Europeans.
Right.
That's slavery, not oppression.
Right.
Wow.
So while today we may call it institutionalization or something like that, it's really just a modern-day word for slavery.
Correct.
We're still enslaved to these people. And so Dr. Amos Wilson says that we can't revolt against the people whose values we share.
Right. You can't revolt against a people whose values we share.
Black women perpetuating white supremacy.
Streetwise,
Get an education. Get a
streetwise saying it.
house.
You
go
ain't
to
gonna
school.
go against the motherfucker you trying to get with.
Right.
And as it relates to black women, not to blame them, because we get into the blaming and excuses argument, is really to bring an understanding and accountability.
Right.
So it's not to blame them, but black women in reality, in general, are in love with white men. You don't have to actually be in a physical relationship with him to be in love with him. Dr. Amos Wilson says that the father is not necessarily always the psycho-spiritual father. Who's the ones whose values and ideologies do you value? And that's the man who is essentially the man who is your enemy to you and the black man.
Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior? I hate when bitches say that.
Hey, listen, thank you for the call, brother. We got to roll, man. We got to roll.
He deep.
Hey, but he dropped hot fire in this motherfucker.
So
hey,
dead.
We appreciate everybody for tuning in to the Voice of Reason. We got to wrap it up. We got to get up out of here. Corey, where you at next, homeboy?
Hey, man, we in Oakland this weekend.
Ooh.
Tommy T's in
Town
Pleasanton.
business,
Come
man.
see me. Come see me. Look it up.
Man, I love Tommy T's. Every time I go up there with you, man, it be cold, man.
Oh, yeah, that
he be
that
killing
was a fun
it.
trip, wasn't it?
Hell yeah. Hey, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Facebook, thank you for the chat room. Thank you for all of that. Tiff Talk, where can they find you?
Everywhere on social media at Tiff Talk TV, TIFFTALK TV.
And listen, I'm ZoWilliams, the Voice of Reason. We're here 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please. Shit, we just be talking, trying to get the conversation going. Please share the video. I appreciate everybody for chiming in. I'll be back Friday with another heater. I'm ZoWilliams, the Voice of Reason, and we out.